In today's episode of your favorite vlog about jigsaw puzzles, we talk about the International Space Rockets puzzle by Eurographics. It is a 1,000-piece puzzle in this line of puzzles by Eurographics that looks sort of like informational posters. You may remember the ones that they solved about tanks, airplanes, about other machines of war, and this is the first that I solved that has a more of a scientific element to it rather than just a warmongering element. Really interesting puzzle, International Space Rockets. Demanding puzzle, but fair, and I'll show you what I mean. The puzzle is right there in all of its beautiful solved glory. It's on the floor because the table is full of other stuff that I'm working on. It is one of those puzzles with, for lack of a better terminology, crazy shapes, crazy pieces. And I like those. I can never quite decide if they cut puzzles like this to make them harder or to make them easier. On one hand, you cannot sort by shape, and I'm not a big shape sorter, so that doesn't really bother me, but I know that for some that is very important. But just look at the shapes of those puzzles. There are basically no, of those puzzle pieces, there are no patterns. Once you're done with the edges, it's all madness. Look at that, look at that, look at those weird shapes. So, you cannot sort by shape, no doubt, and so you will have to sort by color and by pattern. And in this sense, the puzzle is tough or demanding, but fair, but solvable, not particularly hard. Why? Because, well, you're going to do the edges, of course. I mean, what kind of crazy person would you be otherwise? After that, the way I did it, I look for some main colors, so the browns that you see here, the red here, and the green, this a little bit scattered, and so I was able to build a couple of rockets. After that, I did the texts that are under the rockets that tell us the model, the country, and the year in which the rocket was made. And so once I had that, I had, again, some rockets that had already been made, and then I had pretty much a frame to several mini puzzles, so to speak. At that point, I could fit almost every piece, and so what I did, simply pick up a random piece that looked interesting, look at the image carefully, the image on the box carefully. I wish there was a poster, but Eurographics doesn't do that. So pick up a random piece that looks interesting, look at the image carefully, and then I would know exactly where it went. Because when you look at the puzzle in its entirety, it looks, well, the rockets look very similar. In truth, there are just so many different details, and pretty much every puzzle piece I picked up, I knew where it went after studying the image on the lid a little bit. In that sense, well, it was careful work, but there was never a time where there was a lot of ambiguity. Oh my god, this piece could go in 3 different places, or 3 different pieces could go here. One by one, you could just go slow, but steady, and that's something interesting that I haven't seen in many other puzzles, actually, where sometimes you go really fast for some periods, and then you hit a wall. Here, from beginning to end, at least after I created this frame, turning the puzzle into mini puzzles, each a single strip, then it was slow but satisfying, steady work. You know, one piece here, one piece there, without any moments where I was really stuck. Also, that lighter background there really helps. And it was fun. Honestly, if I were to teach classes about specific topics that are the subject of puzzles, from time to time I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have my students solve a puzzle, because I learned so much about the design of these rockets. I can tell different models of rockets now in a way that I couldn't before. Because when you look at a puzzle with the level of attention that you need to solve it, then you pick up so many details than you wouldn't otherwise. If I were to teach art history, I really think that I would use puzzles, because I myself gained such a deep understanding of the composition, up to the single brush strokes of artworks. And the same thing here. Well, I learned the difference between the design of so many different rockets. Definitely a fun puzzle. I see how this could be nice, say, for a teenager. You know, after they're done, they can hang it in their room. It's just nice, you know, it has to do with science, technology, all the good stuff. But just in general, even if you're not a rocket expert or a rocket enthusiast, as I frankly wasn't, I thought this was a cool puzzle, but I'm not a big fan of, I don't know, rockets. Anyways, even if you're not a fan of the theme, this is a really fun puzzle because, again, it's demanding, so you have the level of challenge, but it's not frustrating because with just enough care and attention, you will always know where the next piece goes. It's never trivial, but there's no ambiguity, there's no frustration, there are no pieces that would fit in multiple places, and it turns out you place them wrong, but they look right. Nope, you will always know that you had the right piece if you just pay enough attention. In that sense, it's a really rewarding and fulfilling puzzle. I enjoyed it very much. International Space Rockets, 1,000 Pieces by Eurographics. Really good puzzle.